All right. Now, this very video, you will be receiving the Premier League predictions, the England Premier League predictions for Game Week 7. Instead of just sending you the score lines, what I think about the scores, I've attached further betting probabilities for every single game. For example, we're talking about Crystal Palace versus Liverpool. What is my prediction in terms of the scoreline? Crystal Palace 1 goal, Liverpool 2 goals. Now, the most interesting part is what I'm about to share with you. Because looking at this, Crystal Palace versus Liverpool, when I look at this match, I fancy Liverpool to win or draw. That is one very market I will be including in the MaskedBettor accumulator that will be availed by the end of this video. At the same time, if you want to bet on this game individually, let me say you just want to bet on Palace versus Liverpool game, then what are you going to be betting on? The very first selection is over 8.5 corners. Over 8.5 corners, when you combine that with the Liverpool win or a draw and over 1.5 goals, will give you an average of 1.596. That is what I got yesterday. But this morning, when I rechecked the odds, it has risen to 1.7. Yeah, it's an early kickoff game, by the way. It's an early kickoff game. So take this into account. Liverpool versus Crystal Palace. There are 3 betting probabilities. Betting number 1, a double chance on Liverpool. We will include that in the long shot or accumulator by the end of the video. Now, these other 2 betting probabilities, we're talking about over 8.5 corners and Liverpool win or a draw and over 1.5 at an odd of 1.596. Let me say it's just a safe bet for the Liverpool versus Crystal Palace game individually. At the same time, it's a game in which I fancy over 10.5 corners. Now, that is how we're going to do it today. Given that you have understood that, it's now time to go and have a look at the second game, Arsenal playing Southampton. When I look at Arsenal versus Southampton, I'm expecting Southampton, right? I'm expecting Arsenal to win comfortably in this game. And so I'm going to keep it simple. The very first betting probability is over 8.5 corners. When I combine over 8.5 corners with a market, Arsenal win and over 1.5 goals in total to be recorded in the game, we have a total of 1.55 odds for this very match, right? So, and of course, the third betting market or the third betting possibility, which we will include in the long shot or the accumulator at the end of the video, is an Arsenal victory. Arsenal victory happens to be having 1.1 or 1.2 odds around that. All right? And then the other game we are having is going to be Brentford playing Wolverhampton. Brentford versus Wolverhampton, it's going to be simple. I'm only thinking of over 2.5 goals. The odd is 1.183. The scores is 2-1, by the way. Brentford 2, Wolverhampton 1. And then in terms of the market, we will be including in the long shot or in the accumulator is over 1.5, 1.197 odds. And then we happen to be having Leicester playing Bournemouth. Leicester versus Bournemouth. In this very game, we are expecting a scoreline of 1-1. And the betting markets we will be having is Leicester over 0.5 goals. You combine that with over 8.5 corners to get 1.532 odds. That is our first betting, let me say, slip for this Leicester versus Bournemouth match. Leicester over 0.5 goals, over 8 corners to be recorded in the game. The 2 give us a summation of 1.532. Now, the second betting tip for this Leicester versus Bournemouth game is over 1.5 goals, which we will include in the long shot at the end of the video. Then, of course, we have Manchester City. Manchester City playing Fulham. This is another interesting match. I'm expecting City to win by a clean sheet 2-0. Now, in terms of the betting markets, I'm expecting the game to deliver over 10.5 corners. Over 10.5 corners happens to be having 1.65 odds. Our very first betting prediction or betting market for this game. Then our second betting prediction for this game or our second bet slip is Fulham over 2.5 corners in this game and City to win or a draw and the combined goals in the game to be over 1.5 giving us a summation of 1.747 odds for our second bet slip. And the final bet slip, the final game of, I don't know. You will excuse me if my wordings or English. I do hope you understand him. The final betting market or the final betting tip, which we will include in our long shot, is Manchester City win, right? Manchester City win happens to be having, I think 1.2, I think around 1.1 odds. Now, we have West Ham versus Ipswich. The other game is West Ham versus Ipswich. I'm expecting over 2.5 goals. That is the only betting market in this very game. It's the only single prediction in this game. West Ham versus Ipswich, over 2.5 goals. That is the first prediction in this game. Now, the second prediction, which is going to be included in the long shot, is over 1.5 goals for this very match. And the odd for that is 1.2 something. Now, the other game we are having is Everton playing Newcastle United. I'm expecting a score of 0-1. Everton 0 goals. Newcastle 1 goal. And the very first betting tip for this game is over 10.5 corners. The odd is 1.75. Talking about the second tip, which we will include in our multi or accumulator by the end of the video, or our long shot by the end of the video, is Everton win or Newcastle win, and the odd is 1.32. Then we have Aston Villa playing Manchester United. Do you know what the scores are? I'm expecting a draw in this game. Manchester United versus Newcastle. Aston Villa versus Manchester United. I'm expecting a 1-1 draw. Now, unfortunately, we don't have any single betting tip that we can consider for this very game. The only betting tip we have is the one we will include in our long shot or accumulator at the end of the video. And that is Aston Villa Asian handicap +1. Some of the sites you're using will indicate it as Aston Villa handicap +1. At the same, it basically means the same thing. Aston Villa +1 Asian handicap or Aston Villa Asian handicap +1, that is the same thing. We are expecting Aston Villa not to lose the game, and if they are to lose, then they shall not lose with more than 1 goal. And then we have Chelsea playing I don't have the scores for Chelsea versus Forest. I do not know why it's not included. Chelsea versus Forest. Got it. Yeah, so it's Chelsea versus Nottingham Forest. In the Chelsea versus Nottingham Forest, I'm expecting a scoreline of 2-0. And the first betting tip is Chelsea win, 1.518. And the game or the slip, the tip we are using for our long shot is Chelsea win or a draw. The odd is 1.5. No, the odd is 1.15. And finally, we have Brighton playing Tottenham, where we are expecting the very first betting tip to be over 10.5 corners, 1.70. And the second betting tip in this game is over 9 corners combined with Tottenham win or a draw and over 1.5 goals to be recorded in the game, giving us a summation of 2.08 odds. And finally, if you ask me, MaskedBettor, what about our third bet slip? Our third bet that we will be including, our third betting tip that we will be including in our long shot, what I think is Tottenham win or a draw. Now, guys, I know it has been confusing listening to me talking about all these, but it's important that you are able to understand what I'm talking about. In this next chapter, I'm going to give you the long shot I was talking about. It's 5.355 odds. The combined odd, the combined odd is 5.335 odds, and we have 10 games in total. Yeah, it's challenging doing this video because I was still trying to contemplate how am I supposed to indicate all those matches, and editing the videos is a bit hard. So we have to go for the easiest way out. I took time analyzing the games. What is important is that you get the predictions. How it is presented, we don't care about. I might even record it, outside, while sleeping. The very important thing is that you getting the predictions. So in terms of the very long shot, the first long shot is for the ones I was talking about. It will be included at the end of the video. Blah, 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 blah. So Crystal Palace versus Liverpool. Liverpool win or a draw. Arsenal playing Southampton. Arsenal win. Brentford playing Wolves over 1.5 goals. Leicester versus Bournemouth over 1.5 goals. Manchester City Fulham. Manchester City win. And then we have West Ham United Ipswich over 1.5 goals. And then we have the other game, Everton Newcastle. Everton win or draw. Then we have the other game, Aston Villa Manchester United. Handicap 1 for Aston Villa. And then we have Brighton playing Tottenham Hotspur. It's Brighton. No, it's Tottenham Hotspur handicap 1. Tottenham Hotspur handicap 1. I remember saying it's a double chance, so I got it wrong. It's Tottenham Hotspur handicap 1. And then finally Chelsea playing Nottingham, 1 or draw. 5 amazing odds, juicy odds. I do expect you're going to be nailing it. And the other section, we have 4 games for the corner market. Everton playing Newcastle over 10.5 corners. Brighton playing Tottenham over 10.5 corners. Crystal Palace playing Liverpool over 10.5 corners. And finally, Manchester City playing Fulham over 10.5 corners. Now, all these games are amazing and well done, perfectly done. I expect us to be in a position to win. Maybe the 2 slips, maybe all the predictions are going to come through, because I've done my best and I feel confident as I share you these predictions, right? So take it seriously. And of course, do not forget to join us inside Telegram. There's a link in the video description. There's a link in the comment section. I will be sharing other predictions over there. And later in the day or in the course of the day, I will drop you a long shot. Most importantly, don't forget to go through the link in the video description and watch the 2 proven prediction sites for the new season. Bye-bye.